Bitcoin. You know, the second you hear that word, I bet your brain instantly floods with technical jargon. We're talking cryptography, hash rates, nodes, all sorts of super complicated concepts that just make you want to tune out entirely. But today, we're cutting through all that noise. We are going to strip away the heavy computer science and really get into the core mechanics of what Bitcoin actually is and why it's fundamentally changing how we think about value. We're going to unpack the basics together, completely free of that confusing jargon, so you can clearly understand how this whole thing works without needing a PhD in computer science. So just imagine for a second being able to send money to anyone, anywhere in the world, instantly. No bank acting as a gatekeeper, no crazy swipe fees eating up your hard-earned cash, and definitely no waiting around for business days just for a simple Friday afternoon wire transfer to clear. Just a totally seamless global exchange where there are literally no borders slowing your money down. Well, that incredible frictionless scenario, that is the core promise of Bitcoin. All right, let's dive right into this. To truly grasp how this works, we kind of have to take a hard look at the money sitting in your pocket right now. In our traditional system, whenever you want to send money, a bank has to verify it. They sit right smack in the middle of the transaction, acting as the ultimate middleman. Bitcoin, on the other hand, completely removes that middleman. It allows for an instant, borderless exchange directly between people. Instead of relying on a central authority to, give you permission to move your own money, you actually have complete control. Now, you might be wondering, why is that middleman a problem in the first place? Well, it's because the central authorities controlling our traditional system hold all the power. They can freeze your accounts, block your transactions, and charge you heavy fees just to access your own funds. But worst of all, they can literally print trillions of new dollars right out of thin air. And every single time that printing press runs, the purchasing power of the money you already have goes down. You're basically forced to trust a central authority not to inflate your wealth away. And let's be real, history shows that trust is pretty frequently broken. Now, what's really interesting here is how Bitcoin offers a fascinating solution to this exact problem through one exceptionally powerful concept: decentralization. Instead of a corporate headquarters, a massive central bank, or some CEO calling all the shots, the system is run by thousands of independent, regular computers worldwide. There is absolutely no single point of failure for a bad actor or a government to attack or shut down. It's simply a global network of people operating on a specific, agreed-upon set of rules. It is, quite literally, digital money that just doesn't need a bank to function. You know, the backstory of this decentralized network is actually incredibly wild. It didn't come from some massive tech corporation or government think tank. It was launched back in 2009 by a mysterious person, or maybe even a group of people, we don't know, using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. To this day, nobody actually knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. They introduced this brilliant system to the world, set it all in motion, and then just completely stepped away, leaving it entirely in the hands of the decentralized network. But honestly, the true magic isn't in who created it, it's in how the technology actually operates day to day. So, if there's no bank in charge and no company managing the accounts, who on earth keeps track of all the money? Well, think of Bitcoin like a giant global notebook. But this isn't just any notebook. It's a notebook that absolutely everyone in the world can read. And here is the absolute genius part: no single person can ever erase or alter what's already been written inside it. Every single time a transaction happens, it gets permanently recorded on a page in this notebook, and everyone who participates in the network gets their very own identical copy to hold on to. Let's actually walk through how this builds such an incredibly secure system. When someone makes a transaction, it gets written into that global notebook, and everyone instantly receives the update. But what if someone tries to cheat? Like, say they attempt to spend the exact same Bitcoin twice. Instantly, the thousands of computers on the network automatically compare their identical copies of the notebook. They easily spot the discrepancy, completely reject the cheat, and perfectly secure the true transaction. The system is protected by the consensus of the entire network. And you know that giant, unerasable notebook we're talking about? That is literally exactly what people mean when they use the word blockchain. But keeping this massive notebook updated and safe from hackers, that takes some serious work. And that is exactly where miners step in. Miners are essentially just very powerful computers competing against each other to solve incredibly complex math puzzles. The very first computer to solve the puzzle earns the right to add the newest page of verified transactions to the notebook. And why would anyone spend all that computer power and electricity doing this? Well, because in exchange for securing the network, they are rewarded with brand new Bitcoin.
It's a brilliantly designed system that simultaneously keeps the network secure while issuing new money into the world completely fairly.
So, the crucial point we're leading to here is an unchangeable number, 21 million. Honestly, this is arguably the single most important concept in all of Bitcoin. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. Ever. Period. Unlike traditional money, where governments can just fire up a printing press at will and dilute your purchasing power, Bitcoin operates on an absolute, mathematical hard limit. The code strictly dictates that once that 21 millionth coin is mined, the supply stops forever. No one can ever print more.
Because of that absolute hard limit on its supply, Bitcoin has earned a really fitting nickname, digital gold. Think about physical gold for a second. Part of the reason gold holds its value so well is because it's inherently scarce. You can't just print more of it, you have to spend significant energy to actually dig it out of the ground. Bitcoin takes that ancient concept of scarcity and basically perfects it for the digital age. It serves as a way to store your wealth in something mathematically scarce, protecting your purchasing power over time from the unpredictable whims of governments or central banks.
When we really boil the whole shebang down, the choice essentially becomes middlemen versus math. Bitcoin is a decentralized network secured by unbreakable mathematics rather than human middlemen who can be corrupted, make mistakes, or just arbitrarily change the rules on you whenever they feel like it. It is absolutely vital to realize that this is not some trendy, flash-in-the-pan, get-rich-quick scheme. It's far more profound than that. It is a fundamental structural upgrade to how human beings exchange and store value with one another across the entire globe. So we've stripped away the jargon. You've seen exactly how the giant global notebook works. It's completely decentralized, completely secured by math, and strictly capped at 21 million. So I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Now that you know what it actually is, what are you going to do with it? How does this change your perspective on the money sitting in your bank account right now? I love to hear your thoughts, so definitely drop a comment below. And hey, if you found this clear, straightforward breakdown helpful, please hit subscribe so you never miss out on our future simple tech breakdowns. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next explainer.